There's a lot going on with systems and processes, right? I mean, some of the people don't even actually realize like the certain small things are actually considered a system, right? Basically, what I define a system is what you do repetitively over time inside your company then becomes a system, right? So if you're doing phone calls every single time and you're transferring it over to the next guy, so if you have inside sales, outside sales, or whatever you guys want to call it, acquisitions managers, inside sales, contracts, admins that do it, or transaction coordinators, or whatever you want to call it, right? There's those people, and every single one of them has a process, right, that you actually came up with yourself. However, when I ask you, like, how do you train your new acquisitions guy, or how do you train your admin to do the transaction coordinator's job, or something like that, right? Nobody actually has something like that in place and actually teach that. You just have to look through it and just know exactly what your systems are, and then from there, once you actually mark your systems, then you can actually see where you're deficient at, where you're slow at, whatever it is, and how you can improve it. For example, if you're flipping a house, the thing that most people actually take up most of their time is actually going to Home Depot. So every single time your contractor needs something, you're running out to Home Depot, even a box of nails or something like that. And every single time I tracked it, I even told my contractors, I was like, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're going out to Home Depot, it's going to take an hour. You're wasting 1 hour, period. He's like, no way, I'm going to make 10 minutes. Trust me. He goes in there. He was going to buy like a couple 2x4s or something like that. And then we tracked it, right? So it was 10 minutes there, 10 minutes back. So that's 20 minutes already. While he was picking up his the 2x4s, they ran out. So they had to lift down another pallet from the very top. You know how it is. Like, they had to lift it from the very top, and it took them like 30 minutes to get a guy just to come down and lift that pallet and put it down to the ground. All said and done, he came back, and I was like, dude, look, it's an hour and a half, and you finally got back, and all you need to do is 2x4s. Like, what I did was I basically automated the entire thing. We basically chose the finishes and stuff that we want, right? We do all our drawings, obviously, because you need to get the permits anyway. So that way we know how long each wall is. We calculate how many studs we need and all these things. And we add 10% onto the studs just in case they mess up. So like vanities, bathrooms, everything is the same, right? And we walk through, we're like, okay, look, we need 160, 130, 124. We need 3 toilets. We need 16 door handles. We're ordering the same thing with the same SKU number every single time. So I put all that stuff into an Excel spreadsheet, and then basically put in the prices of the Home Depot website. And basically what we do is we just go through and we're just recording it, right? So just like, hey, we need one bathroom, we need one whatever 130-inch vanity here, we need this many cabinets, and so on and so forth, right? And so once we do that, we put it all into this Excel spreadsheet. It auto calculates with all the SKU numbers that are based off what we need. We just select it. So it's like 130-inch vanity. And if we needed 2, we just change the quantity to 2, and it'll still bring up all the SKU numbers and all that stuff that we need. Bring it to the bottom. We email this out, and it already shows us the estimated price with the taxes and all that stuff. So we know exactly how much we need, because Home Depot needs $1,500 to actually get into their bidding room, right? So if you get the bidding room, then you get an additional discount. So we know exactly what we need in certain stages that give us bigger discounts. The bidding room the first time is always better than that bidding room afterwards. So I kept track of that too. Once we email it over to the Home Depot guys, we already know like what the estimate cost is. From there, once they actually send us a text to confirm, we can match up the phone versus that, and we can actually see like if it's too low or is it too high, what happened, what's the difference, right? And we adjust from there. But most of the times it's pretty accurate. And then we hit 1. Right as soon as we hit 1, we paid for the entire thing. They pull out all the stuff and they put into I don't remember what it's called, like layaway, or where the contractors come just pick it up, right? After an hour or so, the Home Depot guys, they pull it all out ready for the contractors. We say, hey, contractors, all the stuff is ready, and they all come there at once, right? Or 2, if we know that a new house is coming in, we would have them ship it the day of the construction start, or day 1 demo, right? We have it all shipped there exactly the same time, so that way they don't have to do anything but move the stuff inside the house. So that's all the nails, all the framework, all the stuff, and even the dumpsters all come at the same time, right? Yeah, man, it's basically just automating that process. So that way they don't have to go to Home Depot. Materials, we don't have to go there and shop every freaking time. We don't have to go to the shelves and pick it up or anything like that, right? So, and we develop into phases. So like drywall phase, or like, pre-phase, where like you're framing things, and then like the drywall phase where you're getting all the drywalls in there, plus the mud, And then the last one was finishes, right? So flooring, vanities, and faucets and stuff like that. So every single time we try to eliminate people going to Home Depot, minimizing cost and time. So we basically took our flips that took 3 to 6 months on average to going in and out of a house in 3 weeks.
Like, and we're talking full renovations, right? Are you
Full
gutting?
renovations, including new plumbing, like new foundation, new electrical, new everything.
It's very systematized. I think one of the key words you mentioned there is tracking. When you're setting up systems and processes, you gotta track everything. That way you can put it in guides, you can put it in systems. That way it's automated.
Exactly, man. So like the thing is most people don't actually write down what their systems are, what they're actually doing, right? So like if you just keep track of that, you can actually automate your training as well. So like if one of my admins had to quit or something like transaction coordinator quit, I already mapped that out. So then I can actually retrain somebody else in weeks rather than months or days instead of weeks.
And talk to me about like tracking KPIs. Like what's your system on that?
Oh, it depends. I have KPIs for everything, right? And there's actually a really good book out there. It's called the Checklist Manifesto. So I have checklists on everything, right? So like if let's say I'm going out to an appointment, right? If I'm going out to an appointment, I have a pre-appointment checklist, right? I know that, okay, one, I need to get the comps, right? 3 low, 3 high. I need to know if I have the contracts out there, right? And these are all pre-filled contracts. So we have the owner's name, the descriptions, all that stuff. So that way, the only thing that we need to do is fill out the number as soon as we agree to it, right? We need to know the amenities in the area. So that way if you're on the phone, you're saying, hey, we really want to buy a house in the area. And you don't know anything about the area, like pretty much lying to them, right? So you need to know exactly what's going on in the area. We need to know exactly the comps, right? Just in case the owners bring it up. Certain things like when they're on the phone, right? There's a checklist that says, okay, look, did you get their why, right? What's their property address? Like what renovations do they need and stuff like that, right? If you don't ask those questions, then you're not going to get to know exactly what you're looking for to make that offer, right? Checklists for everything is important.
What's your advice for just like someone that has done the deal, but now they want to systematize it? Like what's your guide to them to starting to systematize their business?
I mean, if they've only done one deal or so like that, they basically just have to reverse engineer it, right? Go back there and just write down lessons learned. Lessons learned are super important right now, right? So like, what did you actually do in that situation or actually help out that homeowner in order for you to get that contract, right? And then how many people did you actually compete with in order to get that contract? Like I know every single time I put out an offer, I'm probably competing with a minimum of 10, like, and there could be way more than that, right? Like 30 people walk into the houses, so I'm competing with a lot of people. Right? So certain things like that, basically lessons learned, like why did you get that contract? I know that some of them is because we're faster than somebody else and they just trust us a lot more. Speed is key to everything, right? So you just say like, were you the first one to actually send out that contract? Were you the third one or fifth one or whatever it is, right? You probably won't know that, but at least try to reverse engineer it, right? Take the steps back. Like, okay, what made you win that contract? Did the lady go through foreclosure? Was she going through divorce? Was it that she just needed to buy another house real quick? Was this a rental property? Like, did she just need to get rid of it because she needed to pay for her son's tuition or something like that, right? Keywords that you used in order to build rapport, right? So this is actually mapping out like your negotiation tactics, right? So obviously, most people don't know their negotiation tactics as well, but there's like the takeaway methods, the option methods. Like if you give them an option, like, hey, I have an appointment. Are you available on Tuesday or Thursday from 4 to 5 or something like that, right? Giving them an option. That's an option close. The takeaway, you go up to the door, like obviously you're going up there, you're just like, I freaking suck at sales. Like I'm like the freaking worst. I don't even know why my partner sent me out here, but if I don't have an offer to bring it back to the office, they're just gonna get so mad at me, right? So like, are you sure we can't just come up with a number today and then do a price drop later or something like that, right? You see, like I just track every single thing, like every single time I say something or do something, I track it and then I build a system around it.
Detail.
So yeah, everything's inside the details, right? So like same thing, like, if somebody opts into your Facebook campaign, you have 5 minutes and to call them. If you don't call them within 5 minutes, that lead is dead. Like you'll never be able to contact them ever again. So obviously you want certain things. There's systems out there where as soon as they opt in, the phone call actually comes directly to your phone right away. You don't have to do anything. You can also set that up so a VA can call out right away, right? Answering services. If you want to maximize or be instant, basically most people text all the time and most people are afraid of getting on the phone. So chat bots are incredible, right? So certain things like that, I mean, the more you do, the more you know how to pivot and what you're actually lacking. So therefore, you can then research the systems and processes that you need in order to pivot from there.